It wasn't actually terrifying what I'm about to tell you. Have you ever heard of the Oviedo lights?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, obviously, once again, I ask you if you've heard of something you haven't, then I ask you why aren't you terrified about it?
Do you mean the Oviedo?
The Oviedo lights. I mean, I'm a native of this area, and if you grew up in this area, you grew up hearing about the Oviedo lights.
Tell me about this
Oviedo
lights.
The Oviedo out near the UCF area, where it used to be a lot less developed, was a lot swampier sort of area, and there was only a few roads going through it. And so, since the 1940s, Snow Hill Road has been a hotspot for sightings of a phenomenon known as the Oviedo lights. At night, thrill seekers and ghost hunters would gather at the bridge over the Econlakahatchee River.
Econlakahatchee. Yeah, that's
Econlakahatchee. Nice.
Econlakahatchee. In hopes to see these glowing orbs. Sometimes one, and supposedly up to 5 glowing balls, float and maneuver throughout the area, coming out of the swamp.
But no more than 5.
Is it like an orb?
6 would be right out.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, when I was growing up, way before any of you existed, we were always told to stay away from the area after sundown. We were told stories of the green glowing lights chasing cars up and down the highway.
So they're green.
Or really bright white.
Okay.
Sometimes red, occasionally purple, never magenta. That would be weird.
Yeah, that would be really weird. Like a purple light chasing you.
Yeah, it's too fabulous to happen.
You just hear Bret Hitman Hart's theme music, and you're like, yes. The orb is like, I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Haunting.
Or Prince.
Oh, yeah, Purple Rain. You just hear, hey!
That's it. It comes out of the darkness, and you can hear, because he could be a ghost now. Now, according to legend, if you were caught walking down the road at night, and if a light appeared, to run as fast as you can. If the light caught up to you and passed over your head, you would immediately die.
Whoa.
That's all it takes?
That's harsh.
Yeah.
It's like the worst game of red light, green light ever that aliens are playing. Red light, die. Green light, I'm dead.
No, that's not fair, man.
No,
You didn't even fair chance.
It's green light, die.
Right,
It's basically green light, die. It's run, die.
Dead.
It's like elimination knockout round, red light, green light. Like, you only get one shot.
What's amazing about all of these legends, though, is like, if you see him in your dreams, you'll die. Or that YouTube video, this man has appeared in 2,000 dreams. It's like,
that weird drawing with that face?
Yeah.
It's like, that freaked out. It's like the stupidest drawing, but I'm like, was that real?
Yeah, it's like one person goes, man, I've seen some shit, but if this happens, oh, no, you're in the shit. It's like...
That's called the Ring franchise.
Yeah, you can't elaborate it. You just go, oh, good to know, man. Thanks.
Yeah. It's the chain letter of spookiness.
Yeah, exactly. I'll keep that in my thinker.
Now, in the 70s and 80s, the bridge on Snow Hill, once again, Snow Hill in Florida, it became the make-out and hook-up spot for local teens.
Too sweet.
Because what's
Too
hotter? Sweet! Because what's hotter and more sexually charged than being in fear of a luminescent globe passing over you and ending your young, stupid life?
It's like the ultimate romance. Like, we're making out and then we just die in the middle of it. Like,
Die together.
It's so
in each other's
Shakespearean.
arms.
Yeah,
Exactly.
really is.
Very also David Bowie.
David Bowie-esque, yeah.
What Jesus?
I thought, obviously, that's where you're going. Obviously.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Now, there's been various theories behind the Oviedo lights. Of course, the old swamp gas theory is the most prevalent, as well as it's just a reflection from faraway headlights or even moon reflection off of the road.
I hate those
swamp gas.
I goddamn hate
100%
the swamp gas. Well, you know why the atmosphere's blue, right? Well, that's because of the ocean reflecting off it. It's like, what? Well, swamp gas, Yeah, there you go.
Do not
why
fear
did the orb
alien
chase
bubbles,
me?
child. It is just the Earth's mighty farts.
Swamp gas, of course. It's like,
Yeah.
It's like a very spoon-fed, like, actually, like, oh, it's just swamp gas, buddy, and like the moon, you saw the moon.
it's just a very reductive explanation
Right,
for it. It
exactly.
explains nothing.
That wasn't the ghost of your grandmother. That was swamp gas. You weren't adopted? Now, in 1969, a group of students from the physics department of the Florida Technological University, now known as UCF, went to the area to conduct experiments. In the end, they summarized their findings as, quote, there was insufficient information on which to base a concrete scientific opinion. Same way that you'd release only the UFO stuff from 1970 backwards, because you don't have the evidence, because you don't have the gear.
Sure.
Now, when science can't find an answer, there's only one place to turn. Blind speculation and ghost stories.
Yes.
Now, there are many tales and legends that claim to be the reason for the lights. One, more innocuous one, involved a Cub Scout, because what's more frightening than running afoul of a Cub Scout alone in the night?
Very few things.
They're resourceful little buggers.
They really are.
And their eyes,
they're always prepared.
Beady ass little eyes.
Yep.
This is my badge for mugging.
No, I don't like that.
The Black-Eyed Cub Scouts.
Ooh. Good horror movie idea.
Now, they say this lone Cub Scout wandered out into the swamp alone one night with only a lantern to light his way. He never returned, and now his spirit wanders the area, waving his lantern to warn others to stay away.
Doesn't sound like much of a Cub Scout, right? Like, you just went out in the woods with one lantern? Like,
yeah, well, he wasn't a good Cub Scout. I mean, they're not all
clearly
brilliant.
Got his ass turned
But
into a
he's
light.
still walking around with a lantern, so...
Yeah, so
I mean, he
got
kept it. He's being resourceful in that.
The old folklore behind it?
Yeah.
Because this is kind of like the Jack of the Lantern, where Jack O'Lantern or Will of the Wisp came from.
I did not know that. Same
It's the
thing.
story of a ghost, right, with a little flame.
Yep, it all intertwines, doesn't it?
Sort of carrying a lantern like you are right now, Fritz, guiding us through.
Two different stories involve a young couple using the spot for a little romantic alone time.
Oh, I bet I know what they were doing.
Well, but it ended in grisly death.
Oh, God.
Grisly death.
All right.
The worst kind of death.
Yeah, that's worse.
Because, of course, it did. In both stories, the couple were, shall we say, utilizing the private area for their own needs. But when they went to leave, the car was out of gas. The boyfriend grabs the gas can and goes off in search for fuel. In one iteration of the story, the girl fell asleep while waiting, only to wake a few hours later to find her boyfriend's dead body on the roof of the car, clawed to death.
What?
Now, in the story I was familiar with, once again, the boyfriend went in search of gas and the girl falls asleep. However, this time she was awoken by the sickly thud of her boyfriend's decapitated, burned-off head being dropped from the air onto the hood of the car. Some saying it landed perfectly on the hood ornament, staring at his now ex-girlfriend.
Why are the guys always leaving the girl to, like, go to sleep or stay behind when they go to get the thing? Like, why? That
I would
always
think
seems like
that
a
every
common-
single time I'd be like, no, I'm fucking
just
going with you.
Just go with her. Like, it's a walk. Like,
no, I'm
what?
not staying in the car.
No, it seems
I'm
like
going with
more
you.
dangerous and more
Because I'll
stupid.
throw you if anything comes at me, and then it'll eat you.
You
And I can
exactly. You can't take this walk.
Oh, look, it looks like we're at a gas. Angela's like, you're like,
Let's go
okay,
get some
great.
gas.
Sleep in the car. I'll go walk to the nearest gas station and get fucking gas.
And like boiled
Absolutely.
peanuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boiled peanuts.
Boiled peanuts?
Boiled
Boiled
peanuts.
peanuts.
Yeah. And gas.
Either way, now the ghost of the boyfriend haunts the stretch of road looking for new victims.
He was the victim.
But he's looking for new victims because he was killed in some way, and he must pass on
The
the curse.
transitive property of being picked up by the Oviedo
Is it
light.
intransitive or transitive?
Transitive.
Is it? Okay.
It's like the transitive
The
property.
Transom possum. The Transom possums?
Yeah. If this, then
that.
Yeah.
Now, the only documented death on the bridge prior to 1976 was that of Norbert Hyman. Norbert Hyman!
Oof.
Is his name really Norbert Hyman?
Norbert Hyman, 17.
Aw.
He was
that's
killed
unfortunate
at
last name.
10:30 p.m., July 16th, 1963, when he was struck by a car that didn't have its headlights on.
Oh, man.
So, is it Hyman?
Was this like late at night or
10:30 p.m.
Yeesh.
Is it Hyman maybe wandering the road, maybe illuminating the area in a benevolent way, so no one else befalls his fate?
Ooh.
Or is it a malevolent force trying to teach morality lessons to wayward teens? The best way to sum it up would be from Sheriff Captain Roy Hughley, who had lived in the area since 1957. When asked about the validity of the Oviedo lights, he said, quote, "I think if you stood there and drank enough, you would see it."
Wow.
Oh, at least he's being honest.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
But,
so
could it be the like, since there have been up to 5 orbs sighted, maybe all of these stories might have some validity, and they're
It's like a
somehow
club.
doing like, kind of like a orb club.
Yeah.
Well,
the first rule of orb clubs: you don't talk about orb club.
The first rule is first you die, and then you
Become an orb.
And then number 2,
don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it. And
Because
you
you
know you're
can't.
mad. You're like, dude, look, I'm an orb.
Shut up, be cool.
And so they're a bunch of orbs that get together and go, dude, let's go to this place in Oviedo. No one goes there. And so it's like, let's just get out for a little bit. I mean, are you tired of not being inside? Let's go outside for a little bit.
Like, hey guys, you see those kids over there? They're making out. Let's go fuck with them.
Sounds cool, man.
Yeah, these orbs sound like they're kind of dickheads. Like,
Ghosts and murderous demons and killers all hate teenagers that have sex. Every movie that's
because they're
proven.
enjoying life, and then like the ghost is he feels deprived of life, and he sees life happening, and he's like, son of a bitch, man.
Especially that. There's nothing like life. It says life like the backseat of like a
right, like the
Honda
awkward
hatchback.
fumbling of like
Yes.
two 15-year-olds, just like.
The wet, sopping makeout.
The heat rising off their bodies
The
as it steams up the
steaming
windows
nubile
of their
bodies.
1972.
The romantic scent of damp rid in the air.
Like melted
And one of
7-Up
them brought it
in
with
the,
them.
Ooh.
in the cup holder.
Melted 7-Up in a couple.
Yes.
I can see it.